Alright, I think that's everything. Hi guys. I don't know why the music is loud for you. Like, it's generally set to pretty low volumes compared to my voice. It's the recommended music volume, to be honest. Like background music volume. I think it's more of a case of people watch other streamers and YouTubers, and I'm not saying that I get everything right, but a lot of the times those videos just don't have the right audio levels set. So they're relative to each other, they're correct, but they're not set to the correct levels. And then it's a constant case of needing to adjust your volume for each video that you watch. Whereas if a lot more people adhere to industry standards of these sorts of things, then that would be great. Unfortunately, my microphone is one that I do have to go a little bit below industry standard for the volume, just because of the quality of it, because otherwise it picks up on a lot of other unnecessary things. But other than that, like music and stuff like that, I usually set to, recommended levels. Anyway, welcome guys to another live stream. We're gonna have a look at a few more of the new stuff that's been added to 1.19 Snapshots since the last time that we did this, right? So there's been the LA's been added, the ancient cities, the mangrove biome, the recovery compass, all of that stuff. Has Mojang ever seen mud in their entire life? Mud is brown, not gray. Like, come on. Yeah, I know. A lot of people say that they're not a big fan of it. And to be fair, as a mud texture, it's horrible. As a rusted metal texture, which is the only thing that I am seeing from it, I quite like it. But yeah, as a mud texture, it doesn't make much sense. And it's not. It is making for a weird looking mangrove biome, to be fair. Okay, I think everything is good to go. So I'm just gonna open up that, and I'm gonna open up. But I don't want. No, leave me alone with your notifications. Okay, we're in. Let's do this. So, yeah, I like the texture for what I want to use it for, but I 100% understand that it is not a good mud texture, and it is not something that most other people are going to be enjoying. So I concede there that my need should not come above everyone else's. Well, anyway, we're going to create a new world. And we are going to... We're going to go creative and hard and cheats on and all of that nonsense. And we're just going to... I'm not even going to give a toot about the name of it. We're just going to go right in. And I want to have a look around. And then we'll, I really want you guys to help me fuel the discussion here today. So as new people also come in, we can really discuss our feelings about all of these sorts of all of these new things. I do have some opinions about the stuff myself, so we'll see what it is. At least they added packed mud and mud bricks, which look brown. Yeah, no, the mud bricks and the packed mud and all of that stuff, that looks genuinely good. I definitely don't have anything to complain about there. I really, really like those textures. I mean, last time we spoke about... Oof, this is a heavy valley going on here. Last time we talked about the textures, and I gave my opinions on those. So this time round, we're just gonna locate. So we're gonna locate biome mangrove. Because we're talking about the mud right now. So let's just locate a mangrove and see what is the do's about the mangroves. What I do like about the mangrove is that it is a... Okay, this is This is a weird one. Wedged between a jungle over here and, oh man, it goes all the way up here. Okay. I mean, to be fair, you said earlier mud is brown, not gray. You do get mud that looks like this. I just don't think that it was a good choice for them to pick this sort of mud for Minecraft, when most soil in Minecraft is brown. But you do get mud that looks like this. You get in a lot of places, and it's to be fair, mangrove mud is more this color than regular brown, right? But this looks kind of cool, man. I dig what's going on here. Like, I'm happy with the mangrove biome itself. Generation can be a little weird. Like you saw, this is something I don't like, right? Where the mud only generates on the top layer, and everything underneath it is dirt. I mean, you know, mud doesn't form just at the top layer, right? It seeps down into everything. It's basically the water table cutting through the surface, or just barely not through the surface. So having mud coming up hills like this, it genuinely doesn't make sense to me. I don't like what's going on with all of this. Oh, this is an interesting... Oh my goodness, this is a massive mangrove. Look at this down here. This is a gigantic mangrove. Oh my goodness. This is like, welcome to the bayou. Biaches. Whoa. And then there's a village tucked in here in the corner. The mangrove, the desert, the jungle. This is not a proper village. What is there, like one? There's 3 houses here. Oh no, there's a 4th house over here. Okay. But yeah, this is a weird freaking village. I heard that the biome is quite rare. It's like a combination of swamp and jungle. Yeah, I mean, a mangrove, it's not exactly a combination of a swamp and jungle. In this, yeah, in Minecraft, you could almost say that. But mangroves are interesting in real life. They are just swamps. They pretty much are just swamps. It is a little weird. Like, I get it, right? The temperature, whatnot, of Minecraft, but, you know, swamps next to deserts don't really make all that much sense, in my opinion. Because swamps are extremely wet and humid, right? Whereas the desert is extremely dry. But then again, apart from a savanna and a badlands, there isn't really much else in Minecraft that can properly border what's going on here? Is this supposed to be a beach? This is a beach or more desert? This is desert. This is a microbiome. We still have those. After how many snapshots and fixes and whatnot, they still haven't fixed the microbiomes problem. I see them popping up everywhere. What is this little thing here? This is also a microbiome, isn't it? Right here, we have forest. This is a tiny little... Oh no, this is just a jutting out from here, I guess. No, this is a little biome, a little forest biome. So yeah, microbiomes still not fixed. Mojang? Not that any one of them was going to be watching this, but oh my... Speaking of microbiomes, I think this takes a... This deserves a screenshot, but we need to do it in a way where it looks like there's no other mangroves in the area. Just because you want that extra. It's like, what the hell? Just in the middle, a little oasis, right? Oh, Minecraft have finally added oasis biomes into the into the desert. Wow, amazing! It does look cool. It does look cool. But again, technically that is a microbiome, something that is meant to have been fixed. So yeah, I don't know if they stipulated that it's rare, because oh wow, there's a big cave down there. I don't know if they stipulated that it's rare. I think it's just a rarer form of swamp. But I mean, we've crossed the desert and gone back into more massive. Oh, this is actually really cool. A shattered savanna with a mangrove and a desert. And what else is on here? Oh, and a little. Oh, this is base worthy, boys. This is base worthy, boys. This is amazing. I would love to build in this area. I mean, it's janky. It really is. It needs some tidying up, but it just gets the juices flowing, right? This is amazing. For anyone who wants to, I'm not going to... there's the seed, if you want. Coordinates are on screen there now. So, if you guys want to, have at it. That's really cool. Ooh, this is also really nice. This is a microbiome I can get behind. Just a proper oasis in the middle of the desert. This is amazing. See, now here I don't want them to fix it, right? This is the kind of thing where you're like, hey, you know what? We'll call it a feature. We'll call it a feature. Let me just see if I can get a good angle of this one as well. Something like that? Yes. Definitely got a tweet about Oasis being added to Minecraft. Come on. Let's be real here. See? More mangrove. This is insane. Yeah, no, I don't think it's rare. I genuinely don't think this is very rare. These are massive. I don't think I've even ever seen swamps this big. So yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty good. And it's got a lovely dynamicness to it that I like. But again, not a fan of like the hills and stuff like that. It doesn't quite make... If there was any kind of way where they could limit how high up mud spreads, and also, you know, just make sure that mud could actually penetrates more than just like the top layer. It needs to go down in. Mud needs to be multiple layers. I mean, whether they change the texture or not, and I don't think they're going to. They might tweak it a little bit, but I think for the most part, you know, this is kind of the mud that we're going to be getting. And I'm okay with it. Like I said, I want the texture for the metal, right? I want the texture for the rusted metal because I want to work with that. So I'm kind of biased towards it being taken out completely or you know, fixed completely. But I like it. I like it. Ooh, is that that's the oasis? Let's just quickly speed up our flight a little bit. I just want to see if we go over. That almost didn't look like a ruined portal to me because I didn't see any netherrack. I was like, what the hell is that? Let's see here. This looks like someone attacked the desert with like TNT and stuff. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much the muddy mangrove roots look like what? Muddy mangrove roots look cool if you want to transition from metal to dirt. Yes. Yes, it also looks cool. We discussed this previously, and actually, you weren't here with the last snapshot live stream. Let me just quickly show you what I mean. Right, so we were doing a little bit of testing in here. Yes, Mojang, I know what I'm doing. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you. So yeah, we were doing a little bit of testing in here, and one of the things that we discussed was the fact that you could have like proper metal walls, right? But then what you could also do is you could have like support structures going through it. Might look a little flimsy, but in all honesty, you know, you could have patterns that go through your walls like that, or even for floors, right? So you could have it where you have all kinds of different floor patterns and stuff like that. It's nice because it's directional and everything. So that was one of the things. Another thing that we were talking about was how that looks. That would make for some good crates, like broken crates and stuff in our alleyways, because, you know, I always come at these things with cyberpunk in mind. But yeah. Oh, hey, Deneater is here, guys. Deneater. All right. Let's get back to the other world and let's carry on looking around, because it is pretty cool. And yeah, like, I don't think swamps are... You know what, let's just quickly go time set noon. And yeah, I should have turned these things off, but you know what? I forgot, so whatever. False, and let's also do weather cycle. Weather cycle. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so mangroves. Mangroves are... Oh, this is another tiny little one. Yeah, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it being able to crawl up a hill like this. Mud doesn't go that high. No matter what. Mud doesn't go that high. The only times you will have mud on hills and mountains like this is if it forms at the top, and then you usually end up with mudslides. So it'd be kind of cool if they could figure out a way to make sure that the mud only generates up to like maybe Y70. Anything above that wouldn't be mud, and then making sure that the mud blocks also permeate into the ground, and it's not just the surface layer, because mud, you know, seeps into the ground. Actually, you know, mud usually forms from the bottom up as the water table rises. So what's it? Kind of a shame that reinforced deep slate isn't directional. Reinforced deep slate, I mean, as a creative building block, sure, it is kind of sad, but it's the same with the end portal blocks, right? They're not directional, and let's face it, anyone who has any doubt about that being a portal block at this point is missing something, because it is. They are portal blocks, right? There's a portal going to be there. There's going to be a new dimension, and it's likely going to come in the next update, which upsets me, because I still want them to finish the end. I want them to keep their promise of finishing the 3 dimensions that we have before moving on to a new one. But yet another knee-jerk reaction from the threat of Hightail being on the horizon. They've gone and decided that it is now time to add that new dimension in quick sticks and in a hurry. And I can't blame them. And I'm not going to say that I'm not happy at a new dimension. And I do like the direction that Skulk and everything is going. So probably the new dimension's going to be really nice. But yeah, I'm still very sad that at this point it doesn't look like the end update is coming until 1.21 at the earliest. I could be wrong. I hope I am. Maybe they do the new dimension and the end dimension in one. I don't know. So you can't blame the mud being so high up. It doesn't rain in the desert. Huh? I'm sorry, I missed that. But it seems weird to include a third dimension. Not personally fond of the idea. You mean fourth dimension, right? And no, it's coming, dude. There's no denying it. There's no stopping it. It's going to happen. I mean, if you look at the structure of Hytale, it's not exactly dimensions. They call them areas, but they are distinctly different. They are kind of... I don't know if there's going to be biomes within the areas, but they have like 7. And like I said, they do have that distinctive contrast between them that feels more dimension-y than just area. And Mojang's gonna want to try and keep up with that, because this is going to be the first time that Minecraft has direct competition, and so they're going to have to deal with that. What else was he saying in here? Monty said recovery compass looks cool in cyberpunk builds because it looks like it's neon. The deeper dark dimension. Yes, the recovery compasses do look very cool, and I love the texture of it. And they are going to make for some really cool... let's just grab an item frame. Alright. So they're going to make, especially with invisible item frames, they're going to make really cool dials and stuff, especially because they're animated for like spaceships and cyberpunk stuff, right? So I love the texture. I just... honestly, the functionality of the recovery compass, I missed. This has to happen. Like, seriously, the functionality is just bleh. I don't care for the functionality at all. I think it's a stupid choice. I think it doesn't make any sense. It's a more convoluted and difficult way of fixing a problem that's already been fixed by something a lot easier and more readily available, and it just doesn't make any sense. I would like for them to do things like the recovery compass and all kinds of stuff like that in Minecraft. Obviously, Minecraft does need just more variety in its items and usages and all of that sort of stuff. But the recovery compass just doesn't do anything. It's the same. It's like bundle 2.0 for me. It's a convoluted way of fixing something that's already fixed and not fixing the problem that it's advertised to fix. I feel exactly the same way about the recovery compass as I do about the bundle. Anyway, let us look for locate ancient cities. Let's go have a look. Do you keep the compass if you die? You mean if you have the compass on you and you die, do you keep it? Okay. I frickin' doubt it, my dude. If it does, then maybe it's not so terrible. Recovery compass. And we will go survival. Alright. And then what'll be the easiest way to die right now? I should have just flown somewhere where I could just drop down. That would be the smart thing to do, innit? Alright, there's a ravine or something over here. So, oh, you know what? We could just do this. I mean, I could have just put down something that'll kill me and that'll be the end of it, but you know what? Whatever. Whapa! No, I don't want to slash kill. I want to see what happens when you do it proper. Nope, you don't keep it. Obviously you don't keep it. That's like the main problem with it. So no. So what ends up happening is you have to go to let me just get to the ancient city real quick. All right, locate ancient city, and let's go to the ancient city, and we'll travel through the ground. Oh, all the way down. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the ancient cities. They are spectacular. And let me just quickly give myself effect. Give the Derpol night vision 10,000 should be enough. Okay, now you guys can see. All right, place a diamond block and then a shulk vein on top to make it look like shulk magma. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. And then I believe you're intended to keep the compass beside your bed. I mean, yeah, that would be probably the smart way of doing it. As smart a way as you possibly can, right? So, to get the recovery compass, you have to come to one of these scary-ass places, right? And then in here, you are going... There's nothing in there. Just freaking 3 shriekers here. Well done. Snoof Sneak. You do get compasses around here too, which is at least a little bit handy. I'm happier about the fact that you can get compasses here than the actual what do you call them? The shards. Let's see. We need to find some of them because they are rare in here, right? So they're gonna be hard to find. A recovery compass is not just something you're gonna have stacks and stacks of lying around. It's going to be rare if they don't make the shards farmable. And I fully understand anyone that doesn't want them farmable, but like I'll get to my point in a little bit about why, you know, it should be possibly. I'm trying to find at least some shards. Okay, there's some more chests around here. Nothing in here. Like, they are rare, man. Like, I have had it where I've gotten like 20 shards in one city, but then you go to a bunch of other ones, and like this one, you don't get any. And it is sad. Still nothing. Still nothing. This is a really crappy city. Like, I have... Oh, maybe they're on the tops of these ones. Yeah, they are. They're in the towers, right? Okay, so we got 3 that... Oh, man, I'm gonna grab these so I can remember, so I can count them. So we got 3 there. Let's see if we can find the other towers and see if they're just in towers. I think they are. Let me just double check. There's nothing in there. Nothing in there. I mean, the other side discs and some of the other things that you can get around... Oh, there's nothing even in this tower, so there you go. It's not necessarily just in towers. Maybe... Oh, there's an other side disc. I still haven't even listened to that, ever. So, that's something we should probably do. Yeah, you got some cool caves, lots of exposed diamonds. Definitely one of the better parts of... Yeah, these ancient cities do end up revealing quite a lot of diamonds because they just cut through the generation. I mean, they cut through it fairly decently. I'm not saying that they're not doing a good job there. Just saying, like, okay, so I've gone around the city now, and I don't think I missed any other ones. There's nothing on top of these things, are there? No? Yeah, so we got 3 from this one, right? So, let me just try and explain this. When you're finally ready, like, you don't come to one of these ancient cities unprepared, right? It is going to take you a while to... Well, to be fair, at the moment, the warden is completely cheesable, so maybe not. But the idea would be to fix the warden, right? So if they do end up fixing the warden, and I got suggestions for that too. I've written down a bunch of suggestions and ideas from people like Enigma and Eve and I think even Denada mentioned a few different ways. Hi, Mr. Warden Guy. Bye, Mr. Warden Guy. Thanks for coming. But anyway, so yeah, they're meant to fix the warden. So we're not gonna pretend like just because it's easy now you could come in here with minimal equipment and be okay. The idea is for you to come here properly geared up and ready to go for this city, right? So then you come to one of these and you end up with 3 shards. Not really worth it, right? But the other thing is you'll already have the equipment to really mitigate most opportunities for dying, right? So you're not really going to die much, or you're going to be in a position where you have the infrastructure, i.e. villagers, to replace your tools and stuff, and you won't really care. There's nothing in Minecraft really that can't be replaced, right? Apart from like a dragon egg, and you're not going to be carrying that around with you. So there's not really anything that can't be replaced. Maybe a pig step album, I think, is more rare than the other side, so that's probably another one. But again, not really anything that I wouldn't just write off and make myself a new set or whatever, right? Also, Minecraft and Bedrock, I know that it's debug, but both of them do have options for you to check your coordinates. Most people play with coordinates on. I usually have Mini HUD up in the corner, or you play with Coordinates Hub or something. There are ways of finding your way back to... it's the same with when people said that the glare is just an F3 screen, right, for lighting. And I didn't entirely agree there because you can't check lighting in Bedrock. But there's coordinates for both. So this is not one that I feel is in the same classification. So you're gonna either have equipment that stops you from dying in most situations. Maybe here you might still die, but you can find your way back to one of these. Secondly, you're gonna either have then the infrastructure to replace your items pretty easily, right? The most precious item you're going to have on you when you go back to look for where you died is the compass. It's the one thing you wouldn't want to lose. So it makes no sense. That, and the fact that the compass is so difficult to come by, but totems aren't. So you could just, in really dangerous situations, have a few totems on you and mitigate the need to grab a compass and go and find your stuff when you could just be... The compass is very late game, but it's after the totems, right? If it was slightly easier to get and it was more early game, like you could recover your stuff before you had access to totems, then it would make sense. Now it just doesn't. And that's my dead honest opinion about it. So mangrove trapdoors could look cool in steampunk builds and make a cool window because of the circle. 100%. We did play around with that. We also played around with the kaleidoscope. I'll go back because, you know, why not? We can do what we want around here. We played around with that in the last stream as well. Not only does it make a good window, but it also looks really cool as it gives you like a kaleidoscope effect if you put a few of them in a row, right? So you got that like kaleidoscope effect. But yeah, it's not just steampunk. They can go good in many different settings, and I wouldn't be opposed to using the doors and the trapdoors as windows and doors in Cyberpunk either, because there's no color rules with Cyberpunk, and this still kind of looks metallic with the big old like brass rivets and stuff. So I'm still okay with that too. Getting back to the other discussion that we were having, new music disc called Deep End. What? What? Diamond and Skulk Vein looks awesome. Nice idea, Monty. Oh, you tried it. Okay, let's give it a try. Diamond. And the... it's quicker than to... Yeah, it kind of looks cool. Also, I just want to see sea lanterns and also frog lights, because it'd be cool to have. I don't think all the frog lights are gonna work very well. Challenge completed. Our powers combine. With our powers combined. Is that a friggin' Captain Planet reference? With our powers combined. How does it go again? We summon Captain Planet to mess stuff up. I do also like it on sea lanterns, just as like a lighting option. It works half decent with green frog lights, and not too terribly with the purple one. Yellow maybe, but yeah, it's a. There's a lot of things that you can do with this that are pretty cool. I was watching one of Simply Sark's videos right before this about the Skulk family and all of the weird stuff that you can do with it now. And there's some interesting things coming, right? Not just player detectors and death detectors and all kinds of weird stuff. That's really cool. Okay, what else were we talking about here? The risk of going back to get your stuff with a rare object feels justified to me, though I think the real issue is totems aren't rare. But if totems would be rare, then most people wouldn't use them because they don't want to lose them. And at this point, that is not something that Mojang can roll back. They made totems easy to farm. They cannot revert that. There would be a revolt. Honestly, there would be a revolt. I would be one of the first people to revolt. I don't live without my totems anymore. And I barely ever need them. Like, I barely ever actually activate one. But I will always have one on me. No, they've made totems the meta of totems the way that it is now, and there's no going back for that. And they need to find a way to make the recovery compass work and be balanced before they implement it. And it might come down to a similar case of the bundles where they pull it indefinitely until they can figure it out, because I don't see it being a good option. It's just not good game design. It genuinely isn't good game design. It's a terrible, terrible addition to the game. And most people are extremely psyched about it because, yeah, it's one of the times where I don't want to be mean or anything, guys, but there are times when you just don't listen to the community. Like, they're not game designers. They didn't study game design. They don't know what they're talking about. They'll be happy about something even if it's to their own detriment. You cannot always be like, oh yeah, the community are excited about recovery compasses. It's like, no, you as a developer should know better. Genuinely. Death isn't meant to be fleeting and trivial, in my opinion. That's the point of carrying the totem. Death isn't meant to be fleeting and trivial, in my opinion. That's the point of carrying the totem. You mean the totem makes it so that it's not trivial and fleeting? I'm not entirely sure what you're trying to say there. I just found out a weird bug. What's the weird bug, Monty? I like these rooms, though, right? This is something that I genuinely think, oh wow, this got intersected by a mine shaft. Let's make a little bit of space in here so we can actually see a bit better. Yeah, the addition of these rooms make me thoroughly happy, because what this room does is add a lot of lore, number one, and also, again, fixes a bad game design issue that existed before, and that was that without the wiki, a lot of these mechanics about redstone and stuff would not be understood. And it is a bad game design for players to have to rely on a wiki to figure out mechanics. That is bad. And this fixes some of that. It tells you how, it gives you some kind of indication that a lectern can take a comparator reading, and that target blocks can activate redstone. It gives you a basic idea of a clock design, different comparator readouts for like comparator locking and all of that sort of stuff, right? It gives you a basic design for a piston door. It's a good starter kit for understanding redstone for the average player, right? You remember, I don't know if you guys know about that Japanese guy that tried to play Minecraft without looking at the wiki, and it took him bloody ages to figure out how to go to the Nether or the End. Still never probably figured out redstone, to be honest. So things like this being in the game really does help. This I love. This, I think, is an absolutely fantastic addition to the game. And this 100% is going to be a portal. Anyone that has any doubts about that at this point is, like I said, missing some key bits of information. So let's see what has been. Okay, so Monty's weird bug that he found: when you walk on top of a Skulk Shrieker, you see the circles coming out of it, but when you try to look at them through a tinted glass, you won't see them. Is that just tinted glass, or is that any kind of glass? Let's go do a little bit of testing now that we've kind of looked around a lot of these places. Let's go do a little bit more testing. So one of the things that I heard today, and I didn't realize this before, was if you like, okay, that one was placed in creative. So if I go into survival and I place that, and I also place that back, now it doesn't shriek. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't shriek. Okay, so in survival, if you want to pick these things up and actually decorate your house with them, you can do that, right? That's something that I was actually concerned about, because you don't want to be summoning wardens in your own house, and you just have to keep these things separated. But if you do want to make a design with using both of them, then it is possible. And it's also not possible for someone to pick one of these up and go and put it in your base and grief you with wardens spawning all the time, which is great news, to be honest. So let's just quickly put this back here and break that, because I just want that pillar to be back there. Okay, so what were you saying? You wanna? Oh yeah. Okay, so I need another Skulk sensor. All right, is that close enough? That's not shrieking, is it? Oh, that's because I pick blocked a copy that had the right NBT tags. Okay, that's also good to know. Shrieker. Alright, so these ones should... Oh, they do stack. Oh no. You can't create them at all anymore. Okay, they've completely disabled that then. These things do not... Wait. That thing did send something there. Let's put it down here and see. Nope. Nope. Player-placed ones just don't work anymore. That's concerning, because now you can't make any kind of... Like, not even creative? That's weird. Huh. Just walk on top of them. What do you mean? Wait. Okay, so... Donator said part of the game design issue is because the game wasn't intended for farming, and for the base fandom, it isn't. We are the exception. Most people just want to defeat the dragon. Most people don't want to defeat the dragon either. I think it's something like 80 or 90% of the player base have never touched the dragon or ever owned a shulker box, right? And to say that the game was never intended for farming is naive, because any game with mechanics like this will become farmable, right? You don't want it to be, and they don't bring in mechanics for the purpose of them being farmable, but they have to take into account things that have already, through the community, become farmable as part of their decision making. It just doesn't make sense otherwise, because the majority of the player base do build farms. The majority of them do. They don't come up with the farms, they do build them. More people will be building farms than fighting the Ender Dragon and getting shulker boxes. I guarantee you that. That's a particle effect. You don't see the particles through glass unless you've set the graphics to fabulous. I've set my graphics to fabulous. You still don't see the particles. It's just another thing with Minecraft that I believe is broken. If we get glass, alright, and we just place that there, yeah, you still can't get the Shrieker to shriek on its own anymore, which is also disconcerting. Like, it should have been a thing where if you place it in creative, it should be able to shriek, but it doesn't. You might still be in an older version, Monty? You might be in an older version. Okay, what can I do with particle? Actually, maybe I am wrong about this. Campfires? Let me just see here. Campfires. Okay, campfire particles I can definitely still see through glass. Right? And it's not a case of it being tinted. It's not. That's not the point. Oh no! Yeah, it is. Tinted just stops all particle effects. That's, yeah. Tinted stops all particle effects. Wow. Okay. So yeah, it's just a tinted glass kind of thing then. All right. Well, nah. The more you know. You need the world to generate shriekers that shriek. Yeah, but that's my point, is what happens when you want to, for people that are building in creative, designing things that require shriekers to shriek. How are they going to do it? Right? They're going to have to do some kind of summon command, place block kind of thing. I wonder if place block actually works. Place block? Set block, right? Set block. Yeah, we'll do it there then. Shrieker? Sculpt Shrieker? No, it has to be naturally generated, and yeah, that's a little disconcerting for people who want to actually build using the functionality of the Shrieker. Tinted glass shows particles on Fab. Oh, mine's on Fancy. Oh yeah, I don't think I can use Fab when I mean, I don't have Optifine on right now, but I think Fabulous and Optifine clash, which is why I usually don't play with it on. I think, maybe, is that it? I don't know. But yeah, okay. So that was pretty much all of the discussion there. So what do you guys? Oh, what did I set my graphics to now? That's not what I know. I don't want fast. Are you messing with me? Okay. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the discussion. I don't think, I mean, even if totems aren't farmable, it's still easier to get than a recovery compass. It genuinely is. Like, I would rather take on a raid than well, like I said, the warden hasn't been fixed yet, right? So that's another problem that we have to deal with, or that Mojang needs to deal with, is the fact that the warden hasn't been fixed. So a lot of people say, "Ah, you can just snipe it with a bow, right?" You likely will run out of arrows if you do that. However, if we do slap, and let me just grab a sword, and let me also just grab a warden, right? And then if we do that, I think it's like that. Let me just see. So we'll pop you down there. Wow. And then we're going to survival. Yo! Big boy! Come at me. Can you attack? Can you hit me? No, you can't. But I can hit you. Oh my goodness. So this would be like, it's going to take like 40 swings, but this is going to be likely your approach to the warden at the moment. People say that, yeah, you can just pill up and shoot him with an arrow. But honestly, yeah, you're gonna need a lot of arrows. Your bow will probably break, your arrows will probably run out before then. But this works. This works just 100%. Alright. The other thing that I'm gonna test after this, actually, let's just go creative. And let me also just see something here. So, hitbox is pretty much the size of an Enderman, right? So if I make a box that is this deep, and I go and stand inside of it, can this... Mr. Twat! Okay. He is still a little bit scary sometimes, right? Yo! Big boy! Can you hit me from there? Nope. Nope, he can't see me. Right? So even just a too high hole is enough for you to mess this boy's day up. So until they figure out how to stop that, I guess it's not that difficult to go into an ancient city and get yourself some recovery compasses. So maybe it's not that terrible. Maybe that's the point, is that they couldn't figure out a way to make the warden less cheesable, and so they gave us the consolation prize of a recovery compass. Even though the ways to make the warden non-cheesable is pretty obvious and easy. One, they could just extend its reach by a half a block, so pillaring up wouldn't be an issue, right? Because then he can hit you and you can hit him. Or, excuse me, sorry, my antivirus just tried to trick me. So if they extend his reach by a half a block, then it's a case of you can both hit each other or neither of you can hit each other. The arrow pillar thing I don't feel is a viable option anyway, so who cares? Giving him some kind of shouting, like sonic pulse that can push you off of things is an idea. It's a decent idea. It's a cool mechanic to maybe play around with. Something like a Fusroda from Skyrim, right? But more likely, things like it being able to maybe break a few blocks when it's in charge mode would be good, so that if you are in like a too too high hole hiding from him. He can charge at the hole, break out a few blocks, and try and like get to you. Even though you could probably still cheese your way through that, it will be a little bit more difficult. And then the other option is just some kind of like percentage health bar, where at 50% he actually walks away and applies darkness to you so you can't see him anymore, and then he attacks from the dark. There are just a bunch of different ways that they can improve the Warden and its AI at the moment, because at the moment it is just not a challenge. Not a challenge at all. Fancy has never been able to show particles through transparent blocks. Yeah, but it does. It does. That's why, because technically, no, the problem isn't the, like, look here, right? The problem is that tinted glass is not a transparent block. It looks transparent, right? But it's not classified as transparent. So I am currently on Fancy, right? I'm on Fancy, and you can see particles through that, but you can't see particles through that, right? It's because this isn't classed as a transparent block. It's a solid block, right? That's why you don't see the particles through it, which is stupid, but it also kind of makes sense from the code side of things, right? So the Warden needs a Screaming Earthquake attack. Fus Rodar would work. Try any stained glass then. Stained glass? Oh wow, okay. My bad. I apologize. So the only one you can see through is glass. That's really stupid then. Yeah, Mojang, get on to fixing that. That is ridiculously stupid. I never noticed that. I genuinely never noticed that. Okay, so glass isn't semi-transparent. Okay. I understand what you mean now. Right now, in late game, you are basically invincible because of the totems. I mean, a lot of people don't play with them. And to be fair, it takes up, like, one of your 2 hand slots, right? So you're either going to take a totem with you when you're doing something dangerous, or you're going to take a shield with you or something like that. But yeah, like, you are essentially invincible, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you put in the effort to farm totems to the point where that makes you invincible, then that's your payoff. That's your reward for farming it. If you are not a farmer, you don't like doing farms and stuff, then you go about it the old school way, and you defeat a couple of raids, you get yourself 5 or 6 totems, and you're golden, right? There's nothing wrong with a late game item like that, making you invincible in a game that is not entirely just about adventure, right? It is technically an adventure game, and they want to respect that aspect of the game, but it's not the only aspect. It is good to have things like totems making you invincible, so that you could just be building, because a lot of people just want to build. If you fall off of something, then the totem helps, right? So there's nothing wrong with the totem. I think that is a fine mechanic that they've added into the game. With the right kind of payoffs and everything, it makes sense. The recovery compass doesn't. Clouds also disappear through stained. Really? My whole life is a lie right now, right? That's what you're trying to tell me. Oh, son of a... Okay, well, great. A totem of keeping would be cool. When you die, I keep your inventory, but it would be rare. Well, I mean, that's technically what a totem does. Right? You keep your inventory. Because you don't die. What? I think it was either Eve or Enigma that said it. And, I mean, I'm sorry for stealing their thunder. But a good example of bringing in something like the shards of the compass or something is if the shards was maybe a way to charge the totem, right? So that you would need, you keep your totem for whatever, and then if you use it, then you could charge it. Or if it was some kind of way of, what was the other thing that they were talking about? I think I might actually be misremembering this. Now that I think about it, charging a totem is maybe not that thing. The shard should be something that you charge something with. Some kind of aid that would generally be handy. So, for instance, having you could have it where the recovery compass could recover your inventory from after death, but that you would need to constantly keep charging it to be able to use it. That would make a lot more sense than it being something that you physically have to take with you to a dangerous place where you've already died once, and then then stand the chance of losing that, and then that forcing you to go back into ancient cities to get another one. It's like they're trying to give you, they're trying to force you into going back to ancient cities to get more recovery compasses, when it's not really worth going there in the first place. Until they put in the next dimension into those portals. Going to an ancient city at the moment just doesn't feel worth it to me. Like, I like the ancient city. I think the design is really nice. I think that go away with your spam calls. God damn it. I think the design of the cities are really nice. I think that the lore that it adds is superb. The whole redstone technologies and things like that I love all of that stuff. But honestly, until they add some better loot or some more incentive, like the portal obviously would be a very, very good incentive. Although at that point, you can see how high up this is, right? You could dig in at this level here, right? You dig in from wherever you are, you dig into this level here, you bridge out to that, you make a tunnel, you close up that thing. You never have to look at a warden. Like, honestly, you never have to look at a warden to get to that portal, right? So I genuinely think that the warden is just, it needs work. It needs a lot of work, and so do the recovery compasses. Is the deep dark actually late game? It's not hard to mine down to. I'm not convinced it is. I mean, it's not. You could go to the deep dark like immediately if you wanted, right? I've seen deep darks, ancient cities exposed through massive canyons, where you can literally you don't even need to dig down. You can just walk down to it, right? Jump down with a water bucket, whatever. Like, you don't have to wait until late game to get there. But the idea, this is what I was saying earlier, was at the moment the warden is cheesable. So you could go to the ancient city fairly early on and probably not have an issue with it. You could clear out the whole thing methodically, right? There's lots of carpet, there's lots of wool now, so you could do a little bit of parkour so you don't make any noise. Like, that's the whole point of these structures being here, so you can traverse a little bit of it without making any kind of noise and summoning a warden and wada, right? So you could do that now, but the point is that they need to fix the warden. If they do fix the warden, he's a beefy boy, And he is going to be hard to defeat, and it's going to be terrifying, and you're going to need proper equipment to come down here and defeat him, right? It just, the payoff, the effort to reward ratio of the ancient city at the moment is balanced, but also predicated on the warden staying the way it is now. If they make the warden as hard as it's meant to be, then the balance is off. And I prefer them to make the warden difficult rather than keep that easy and then giving us a balanced situation. I want them to make it hard and then give us a balanced situation. That's what I'm asking for. It is harder to find a mansion than it is to find a city. Wait 5 minutes and some pillagers will start a raid, problem solved. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you don't have to find a mansion to get totems, right? You just need to start a raid. And honestly, you know, with a little bit of preparation, just from like a building standpoint, building yourself some pillboxes and stuff like that, or like sentry towers and things like that, and making sure that you at least have a bow and some arrows and stuff. A raid is a lot easier to take on than what a warden would be if they did it correctly, right? That's the problem, is that the warden is not as hard as it's supposed to be yet. And a lot of people are like, yeah, the recovery compasses is a great idea, because the warden's still pretty easy at this point. But if the warden stops being easy, which it should, then recovery compasses become just an absolute unnecessary nightmare to acquire, and the effort to reward ratio would be completely out of whack, right? So what I want to do now is I'm just going to keep flying and seeing if I can get another one of these, because if I type in locate now, I'm probably going to end up getting the same one. Yeah, because they're not that rare yet, right? So I don't know if they're going to get any rarer than they are now. Even if the warden isn't cheesable, you're intended to use stealth to loot the city. Equipment means nothing because it can two-shot you with top gear. Yeah, but you're still not going to want to come at it with no gear, right? That would be a terrible idea, because then it can one-shot you. At least a two-shot, you still have a chance of getting hit and running away and recovering, even if you are using stealth. Because believe me, buddy, you cannot get through an ancient city very easily without triggering at least one warden, right? It is a difficult thing to do, to get through an entire ancient city without triggering a warden. That is genuinely a challenge, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh no, I'll just place carpets in front of... Like, no, the placing of the carpet still activates the shriekers. It's only when it's already been placed and you walk on it that it doesn't activate the shriekers. So getting through an entire city without top-notch gear to make sure that the first shot leaves you alive enough to run away and recover, you know, it's vitally important. You're gonna have to go through Deep City with smarts. I mean, we can give it a try in a little bit, right? How much time do we have left? If you're properly stealthy, the warden shouldn't spot you. I haven't tried, but to claim the warden isn't hard enough feels missing the point intention. It isn't. It isn't hard enough. It genuinely isn't. Because no matter what, you can always just pillar up by 4 blocks and put a slab, and you're good to go. And then you could even just stay there. You don't have to kill it. You can just stay there until it buries itself in the ground again. And then you can try and jump down. If you jump down onto one of the wool blocks that's in the area, you can get away with getting off of your pillar without summoning another one. And then carry about your business. It isn't hard enough. Right? I know that I'm going to probably try and do this in a little bit, and I'm going to fail horribly. But it's one of those things that I'm pretty sure, after trying once or twice, a little bit of practice, it just becomes ridiculously easy to circumvent any of the difficulties of the Warden. But like I said, it's still not something that I would want to do without top-notch gear. Alright, I think I've gone decently far enough, so let's just see if we can find a new ancient city and see what that's like. I think this one's not the same one. I hope this one's not the same one. It's the same one. Is it the same? No, it's not the same. This is a different one. Okay, looked very much the same. So let's just first off start by seeing how many. Let's clear my inventory. Let's see how many. Whoa, whoa, bro. That's an interesting mineshaft you got there, bro. All right, let's just quickly start off by seeing. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I figured out why I would want to come. Oops. I figured out why I want to come to the ancient cities. It's an easy way to get skeleton skulls. Skeleton skulls are actually a little bit more of a pain in the bum than regular mob, even with mob heads and all of that. Well, I mean, I don't care about like enchanted golden apples. I genuinely don't. Some of the gear is pretty nice though. Like, yeah, okay. Might come here for that. But we are talking about the recovery compass specifically. Again, like, fair enough. Maybe I come here for all of the other things, right? And the recovery compass is a healthy bonus. Then, you know, I don't mind. But honestly, that feels like a cheap, wasted opportunity for the compass. What is this? Oh yeah, skulls. Yeah, that's a pretty damn good reason to come down here, even though I've only ever seen one of them. And then, to be honest, I'd rather raid a city than enchant normally. I did the same with end cities. I mean, yeah, to me, this doesn't feel any more of a challenge than an end city. Like, honestly, I would still feel more nervous going, like, I've had terrible luck with end cities. I have a habit of always dying in the first end city that I go to on a new server, right? That is not a habit. That's kind of like just, it's a given, right? It's just bad luck. There's something about it. So I'd still want to come. I'd still want to come just because I do like the exploration and everything like that. I'm not saying that I don't. Hi, dude. Right? Hi. Okay. I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to come here. I'm not saying that I don't think it's worth coming here yet. Right? There's some nice stuff. I mean, I want skulks and stuff, but yeah, I mean, you can get that in other places. Here's another one. That's another thing though, right? So I want to find out what is the detection radius for a Shrieker with a Warden in place, because what could also happen is, if you're smart about it, you could trap the Warden and then loot the area around him. Right, like if I just put some blocks over here now, he would be able to come up here again, and I could just loot this, right? And then nothing else would be able to be summoned because the Shriekers are detecting him, right? I did the same, but I do agree the compass feels lacking as a main incentive. Yes, it's no. It's not that I'm looking at it as being supposed to be a main incentive. It's one of the incentives of coming here. I'm okay with coming here, right? I'm just feeling like the implementation of the compass as it is now, and this is just genuine. This is me loving Minecraft and voicing my opinion about a game that I want to be as good as it can be. I'm not a game designer. I do talk to a lot of game designers on a regular. And I feel like my opinions do matter in some way, and see there, right? That's one compass. Boom. Previous one we got 3. This one we've already got 11, right? So it does also depend on your luck. I don't feel like it's not worth coming here. There's lots of cool stuff, and I would definitely come just for the experience. But it's the same. It feels like end cities I go to regularly. Well, I used to go to end cities regularly because I go through a lot of shulker boxes. Now you can farm them, but other people don't farm them. But then those people that don't farm them are also the people that have never killed the dragon and actually gone to an end city and have never owned shulker boxes and are still completely oblivious as to the amazingness that shulker boxes have to offer. But okay, and one of these. Hi, bruh. Right. So yeah, there's a lot of things to consider, but I'm not against the idea of this. Is there anything in these things like there are in the mansions? I feel like there should be. I feel like that is. Nah, guess not. I just feel like the compass is a great texture, and I'm happy to use that as a decoration in things, right? And I think it's a great concept. It's just not where it should be yet, and I would like to see it get there. I know that my ramblings here on this live stream are probably never going to reach the ears of the Mojang developers, but who knows? Maybe it does. Maybe one day I'll have one of these live streams where I'm rambling about how I think something can be improved, and they'll hear it, and that thing will spark something. And you know, it's just my hopeful thinking that at some point maybe I can get to make a change to this game that we all love, right? There's another one of these. I mean, that's also probably like I'd go to one of these once, and if I got more than 2 of those apples, like I essentially in any world I would like 3 of those, right? 1 for the crafting recipe, 1 to eat for the advancement, and 1 to keep just as like a collector's item, because I like making museums and stuff in my worlds. So as much as I say that I don't really care about enchanted golden apples, probably would come here for the apples. Where's the other? There should be another one. Oh, this one doesn't have a chest here. Usually they have a chest there. Okay, so it generated a little different. Let's see what this redstone room has to offer. Because some of them are a little bit different, I think. Oh, no, I think all of them are actually the same. Like the... No, this is different. This is different. This is giving you... What is this? What kind of gate is this? This is some kind of gate. Right? Yeah, this is definitely... very interesting. I don't know which gate this is, but this is definitely one of the more complex gates. Or maybe it's just a couple of different gates put together so that they can understand. Yeah, so you can learn the idea of logic gates. There are 2 types of players, as far as I'm concerned. Those who see the game as a creative outlet and those that don't. If creative, they will build and farm, but the other half only see dragon. Like, again, I don't agree. most players don't give two hoots about the dragon or the end, because the end offers nothing for no one. And especially now with the farmability of shulkers, like, you go to the end once, you get a couple of elytras, you get one shulker, you farm it, boom, right, you're done. Killing the dragon, like, yeah, okay, so speedrunners, they care about the dragon, right? And younger players, right? Younger players are well influenced and by pretty much anything, and young players, I'm sorry, are not my target audience. It's not people that I take into consideration when it comes to discussions about the game, and 100% is one of the main reasons why I don't think Minecraft or Mojang should allow any kind of voting on what goes into the game, because 10-year-old Timmy does not know what is good for Minecraft. And the same goes for 75-year-old Jeffrey on Twitter that doesn't have a Minecraft account and has never played the game, that also gets to vote on what goes into this game. Don't get me started on mob votes and stuff like that. I think it's stupid. I think it's something like, it's a marketing ploy that is super cheap, and it's one of the, I want to say, scummier things that Mojang do. And I genuinely just don't like it. I don't like mob votes. I think they should really just make away with all of them. It makes no sense. Either make away with them, or make it so that you have to log in to a validated Minecraft account and vote on Minecraft.com or something, because voting on Twitter is just dumb. It's dumb. And that's not salt for the last two mob votes that I wanted that my option lost or anything. It was something that I said long before those votes. The redstone room confuses me. Like, what's the story purpose? It feels very random. No, this is meant to be. This is meant to be. I think a lot of people have speculated that this is actually like one of the ancient cities from the what do you call them? The original builders, the ancient builders or whatever. This is one of their cities, and this was them testing out the function. This is like a lab. That's probably why it resonates with me. This is essentially a lab, an ancient lab, where they were testing out redstone functionality. This isn't like they are meant to be redstone put in place for a specific reason. This is redstone being tested. That is the lore behind it, and that's why I love about it, because it's essentially ancient scientists doing ancient sciencey things, and we all know where I stand on that. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on mob votes. That's my 3 cents on the ancient cities and the warden and the recovery compass and all of that nonsense. Have any? Wonder what color will be the new port. I don't know. I'm assuming. See, the thing is, the end portal. Let's just see here. If we got give Sir Derpol and Paul and Crystal and, can I not get the end portal block? End portal frame. Oh no, I don't think you can get it. I think you just need to set it, right? So if we just do let's put that there, and then we go set block on that spot, and we go end gateway. That's the one, right? So the end gateway already kind of looks a lot like the skulk stuff, right? So I was gonna say that the portal probably will end up looking a lot like the skulk stuff, but that would probably look too close to the end portal stuff already. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna make it as. But it'll be interesting to see. Lab is fair. Lab is fair! You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Donator said, lab is fair. I mean, if you said anything other than that, like if you said anything just a level lower than lab is at least fair to me, we'd have problems. That's the city depicts a warden, and the ancient builders were likely players. So when did the warden arrive? See, that's one of those things. Yeah, you gotta remember that once this is in the game, it's supposed to have always been there, right? So yeah, I think the ancient builders were here. They had the city, and then they were testing redstone. They came up with a new portal design, or something. They figured out some way to a new dimension. And they let something bad out. The Skulk. And the Skulk came and started taking over their cities. And from the Skulk rose the Warden. So I would say definitely the Warden came after. Because if you look at the way the city is built, a lot of it feels like these things were carpeted before, but then a lot of it looks like it's been patched up, and some of it feels like it's been cobbled on after. So it's like once the Skulk started coming through, they started scrambling for carpet and wool and stuff to reinforce their city a little bit with all of these sorts of things. I don't know. There's still a lot of lore that needs to be figured out around this, but I love the fact that it is drumming up a lot more of a discussion about lore again, after lore's been pretty stagnant for a little while now. So the ancient builders attempted to visit the Upside Down. I mean, the Upside Down is the Nether, isn't it? Yeah, like, I don't know. Oh, you mean like Stranger Things? You were talking about like Stranger Things, like they tried to figure out a way to go there. Yeah, probably, and then they ended up releasing this blight upon the world. I like the Skulk coming through way more than MatPats. They went to the end. I've seen MatPats. They went to the end. I think they fled from this to go to the end. That would give them a good reason to have gone to the end. Now that you mention it, I didn't even think about that. I thought maybe they just made their last stand here and died, but no. After they were done here, they probably went to the end. Then from there, they, lived off of chorus fruit long enough to become Endermen, get infected by the Endermites, all of that nonsense, right? Building new cities. There's a couple of lore holes in that plot that between MatPat and Weefy's, things like. What was it? I'm trying to remember what I need to start jotting these ideas down too, because like I said, I think my ideas are valid. So one of the things was that they got infected, right, by eating too many chorus fruit. They got infected by the Endermites. The Endermites were then like turned into pearls inside their bodies. And that's why if you killed an Enderman, he drops a pearl, and then if you used a pearl, you could release the Endermite. And that all sounds hunky-dory to me. But there's parts of that still... I feel like the dragon has a lot more... Because in their theories, there's not a lot of play with the dragon, right? But if you look at... Actually, you know what? Let's go to the end. Right? We're here on a little lore adventure today. So let's locate Nope, nope. I'm not even typing anything. Why am I not typing anything? Why is... I think my game just crashed. Why did my game crash? Okay. That was weird. Anyway, let me launch it again. Let's go to the end. What if the Endermites are actually from Skullcland? No, they feel like they're more indie, right? They got the purple coming off of them. They are purple. They're way more tied to the Enderman and everything like that. But let me just get to the end so I can try and articulate my idea here. Because one of the things that MatPat and Weefies don't really touch on enough, in my opinion, is the relation to the Ancient Builders, the Enderman, and the Dragon. The Dragon feels like it's missing from a lot of those stories and those theories, right? So one of the things that I thought of was, can we please just... Can we do this? Thank you. Okay, where is the portal room? Oh, this has been taken over by Skulk too. Portal room, where are you? Portal room. I wish that locate just took you straight to the portal room. That would be nice, right? You don't just... Most people locate strongholds for the idea of actually going to the portal room, right? Get... No, I don't want the portal frame. I want the... Dagnabbit. Alright, anyway, we got 17 shots from that city. That wasn't too bad, actually. Right? Okay. I mean, I could have just made a portal. I could have just done that too. Yes, but the Endermite was initially claimed to not be from the end, if I remember correctly. Yeah, no, you are. It was claimed not to be from the end, but I think that it has... Well, yeah, it could have been from Skullcland. It could have been something they brought with them from when the Skulk attacked. But overall, I think at this point the Endermite... No! It was claimed that the Endermite was from the pocket dimension that they were traveling through as they were eating the chorus fruit and everything, right? That's what their teleportation was all about. So as they're teleporting, they go to this pocket dimension where the Endermites live, and that's where they get infected. So it's like a trade-off between being able to teleport and being infected by an Endermite, and that's why they hate them too, because they're just a pain in the backside. So let's locate End City. And let's go there quickly. Is this a big enough one? Yes, it is. Alright, so no one ever talks about this. The dragon heads on the front of the ships, right? So imagine this. Imagine this. The ancient builders are living underground in this massive city. They make the new portal to go to the upside down, the whoopsie daisy nosy wosy place. The skulks start coming through. They have a big battle with trying to survive through the skulk infestation and the warden and all that. They end up fleeing to the end, where they start living off of chorus, and the only materials they have to build with is literally chorus and endstone. So that's why they built these monstrosities. And then, because the only threat that they had back then here, and why they thrived and built so many of these cities, was that the only threat they had were dragons. Multiple dragons. Not just the one that's protecting the main end island. That one was the Big Mama. Right? Jean was the Big Mama, or the last survivor of the dragons, or whatever. But they built these flying ships to go out and hunt dragons, and then they would mount their prey, their heads, onto the front of the ships to signify victory. And Jean eventually got super tired of all of her people or all of her kind getting murdered by the ancient builders, that she placed a curse on them. And that curse could have something to do with the Endermites or not. But I think that's how the ancient builders became Endermen. I think she turned them into Endermen. And then once they were Endermen and had the ability to teleport, then they started getting infected by the Endermites by going through the pocket dimensions and everything. And there's still ways of that connecting up to MatPat and Wi-Fi's, all their theories and everything. But I think that this came about through a curse. A curse from the dragon herself for retribution for all of her kind being murdered out of existence. What made them Endermen is the dragon. She cursed them. I don't know, some kind of dragon magic. There's magic in Minecraft. We're just not allowed to use it, right? So dragon magic made them into Endermen. She cursed some kind of disease upon them that spread, and they all became Endermen, and yeah, that's that. Missed that. Yeah, I mean, it's just a theory. I could be horribly wrong on this, but I do feel like no one makes any mention of the dragon heads on the front of the ships. Soul magic, even. It could go full circle. It could. It could go full circle. Who knows? But that's my 2 cents on the whole matter. I know I've said that a few times now. Let's head back to the test world and just mess around for a bit. There's a few things that... Oh, you know what we haven't even looked at? My goodness, I am such a poopy head. Let's get a fence post and a lead and an alley. I've never looked at the alley at all. How silly of me. Hi, little guy! Like, don't get me wrong, right? I wanted the Iron Golem, but honestly, between the 3 of them, none of them were, like, particularly... like, I was fine with any of them, really. No, I agree, the dragon heads on boats really ruins the whole end enslavement bit. Yeah, no, I think they went there and wrecked house and nearly took over the whole end and just eradicated dragons. And then it could even be a case of, like, you know how in some fantasy settings you would have it where it could have been like the dragons were a collective species, and every dragon that got killed, the power got transferred over to the other dragons, and so that's why Jean just eventually got powerful enough to take on all of them and actually curse them or something like that, right? There are ways of that making sense, to me at least. But anyway, LA! Here, you wanna have a lead? Now can you, if you're still leaded, can you do... No, you can't do your job if you're leaded. Well, thank you! You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Yes, they must have wrecked house. The ancient builders are buff AF. Imagine the stacks of gold they could carry. Yeah, it's true. Ancient builders were all a bunch of Giga Steves, right? I mean, Steve is a Giga Steve, right? So yeah, we got Alaise. Also, you know what? I'm not gonna do this on. I'm not gonna do this on this world because that would be bad. But I just want to see, because I saw someone do something interesting and I want to try it. Although I don't think it was legit, but I just want to see if it is an idea, right? I'm not even gonna worry about making a very good clock. We're just gonna do a proper one of those. Why is it not making any sound? Have I turned my note blocks down? No. Oh, it's because it is actually too fast, is it? Huh. Okay. Well, we'll just make a... We'll just make a friggin... I can't remember how to make a regular clock. How do you make a regular clock again? Is it like... I genuinely can't remember how to make a regular clock, guys. Oh no! Derpol does redstone. No, that's not good. Oh wait, this needs to be that way. This needs to be that way, that way, that way, that way. Ba-dum. That wasn't right. Why do I keep pressing the wrong button? There we go. But this still doesn't... Still isn't playing my block. Do note blocks not play in the end? Did we just... Endstone not play. Observer clock works fine. Do note blocks not play in the end? Did we just figure something out here? Alright, you know what? We're gonna go over to... Yeah, of course observer clocks work. I use them for noise machines and things. Let's head back to, I guess, TP to 000. Wait, I didn't do that right, did I? Sorry, 000. Okay, whatever. Can we move this along, please? Okay, and then kill entity type Ender Dragon. Bye. Okay. Whoops. And works. Random tick speed, perhaps? No, I haven't changed anything. This is all completely normal. Is it just in... Maybe it's in the snapshot. Maybe the snapshot is messed up. Right, that could just be a thing. Note blocks just don't play in the end in the snapshot. I don't know. Yeah. Note blocks just don't work in the snapshot. Because remember they changed it where the only way to occlude sound is to put wool on top of it now, right? So maybe they broke something else about note blocks. That would be bad because people want to... No, but then people would have come across that already and said like, hey, no, note blocks don't work because I'm in your snapshot though. Really? Am I just not hearing it? Did I turn particles off? Particles on minimum, that's full. Yeah, no, okay. It's playing. I just can't frickin' hear it over the music. Okay, my bad. My bad. No, I genuinely don't hear the music. Oh, but now that I think about it, I also don't have game sounds. Why do I not have game sounds? I mean, it's coming... It's not... is it not monitoring for me? 1 second. stream track, audio, stream track, chord track. I don't monitor and output. Yeah, no, I should be able to hear my own bloody audio. I'm not hearing any game sounds now that I think about it. This has just been an issue all day. But anyway, okay, so that's besides the frickin' point then, right? That's not what I wanted to. I just want to see if this thing was actually true. Yeah. No, that's not what I want. I actually want multiples of that. So, hey, come back here, you Muppet. Here. So you have that. Now have this one. Here, have that one. What is your detection range, anyway? I think this was fake. I genuinely think this was fake, but we're gonna see anyway. Yeah, no, it was just fake. I thought because in that video, they just started spawning massive amounts of LAs. I don't know why I don't have any sounds. Like, I should have sounds. And if I just open up my OBS for a second, not the Streamlabs one. Yeah, now I have sound. So there's something wrong with my Streamlabs. Now I have sound. Okay, I can hear that. Great! Well, whoop-de frickin' do for me. I don't know if you guys could hear anything. I mean, it doesn't really matter. There was any kind of sounds that you needed to hear. I feel like the skulk has to do with the end rather than being a third dimension. Color palette of skulk and end are too similar via the end portal. F3 and T? Oh, no, I don't think that's what that's not what it was. Yeah, you hear no audio. No, it's something to do with my Streamlabs. I'm gonna need to fix that. I don't understand what is going on with my freaking audio at the moment. Monitor off. Let's put monitor and output again. I don't know. I'm gonna need to figure that out. That's weird. Because at the moment, yeah, now it doesn't even show anything. Let me just see if it's picking up from the voice meter input. So that would be voice meter input, VB voice meter via VB audio voice meter. Yeah, it's the right input and everything. I don't know. I'll figure that out for the next live stream. That's not too important to have to deal with right now. We only have like 10 minutes left of this live stream anyway. So yeah, this is the LA. I've seen people do some interesting things with it, but again, this thing is not going to be as useful as people thought, right? It's going to be it's going to be a good non-stackable item sorter. Other than that, and even then, like, this is definitely... Hi, Humphreys. Welcome. Like, how people were like, oh, I'm just going to have an army of allays in my base flying around, sorting my items. Like, no. No. If you want allays to sort your items, you're going to need to put them in minecarts over top of hoppers next to water streams. That's the only way that they actually work as a sorter. Otherwise, they're just going to throw the items into random places. Right? So, people highly overestimated how this thing was going to work. Like, I'm not opposed to the Vex. Like, the LA, like I said, I genuinely am okay with it being in the game and not the copper column, although I really would have preferred the copper column. But yeah, people were thinking that this thing was going to be some kind of god mob that could just, you know, bring life to your base and fly around and sort all your things for you. Like, first of all, I don't think you can breed them, so they're a limited resource. Secondly, they cause lag. Thirdly, you need to keep them stationary if you want them to be able to sort things, so they go into a minecart over hoppers next to an item stream. Like, the only time you would want to do that is for a non-stackable sorter. Other than that, you wouldn't want these things, because then you have an allay and a minecart in your system, and that's just unnecessary entities and lag. Most of the time, it's better to just manually sort your non-stackables while auto-sorting everything else, if that is the case that you want. And then, at least the LA makes good law uncorrupted vexed. But item duping... Well, yeah. They thought it was going to dupe items. That was ridiculous. They thought they could just give it a netherite block and it was going to go find more netherite blocks, right? I was like, I mean, that was like... The very next tweet after they announced the LA was like, guys, it's not going to dupe. And the entirety of the vote, that was still one of the main reasons why people voted for it. And it's one of the main reasons why I say that mob votes should be thrown into the fire. Because you can't leave decisions about a game up to people that are that incompetent. I get it. Not everyone follows the like Minecraft development strictly, but to think that a thing like this would just get implemented and immediately be intended to be for duping, and then no matter how many people on Twitter and the internet said that this thing will not dupe items, it's still permeated through every part of the mob vote, and that's why it won. It won because it's an item duper when it's not an item duper. And it was the same with people saying that the iron golem can be replaced by a chicken and a pressure plate, at highly under comprehending what the copper golem actually could do, right? Even old Mango said, no, we already have random randomizers and things like that. But it's just that was 100% just him being like, I don't want that to be an easy thing for people. Like, otherwise, what they're gonna, if those sorts of things get too easy, how people are gonna stop watching my channel? Because for a smart person like that to say that we already have random number generators, when the copper column would have been something that we don't have yet in the form of a random number generator, is dumb. Like, yeah, we have it, but those machines are pretty big and complex, and he wants to make sure that people still watch him for those sorts of things, right? Where a copper column doesn't replace him and his big random number generators and stuff like that. But it genuinely, it was stupid that people even thought that a chicken and a pressure plate was comparable to a copper golem. And that's why people shouldn't be involved in deciding what goes into the game, because the general community is not capable of making smart decisions there. It could be practical if they could pick any block the player drops when building. Yeah, but they can't. That was never going to be the point. That was never going to be an option, because the only way this works is if it has a single slot for picking up things, or a single slot for assigning something. So you're going to need a bunch of allays with you, picking up different items, like giving them one item from your block palette, each of them, and having them fly around you. And then all they're going to do is they're going to end up getting in your way when you're trying to place blocks. It's not worth it. Wait, my function wouldn't work. Did you have another redstone purpose in mind for the golem? No, just genuinely random. The whole point of the I mean, yeah, there's probably things where you could have it in a control room where every once in a while it presses a button to maybe harvest one of your farms or run a specific machine, and it's a case of you don't care how often it happens or when it happens, just, you know, every once in a while he presses the button and your sugarcane gets harvested or whatever, right? So that's fine. I wonder if saplings still work as a randomizer. Saplings are not the same thing, because a sapling would have a single output. It would have a random time, but a single output, right? Then you would need to attach logic to make it different outputs, right? So it doesn't replace the golem. The golem was both a random input or random output, random input output, and random time, because it might take him 10 seconds to press the next button, or it might take him a few minutes to press the next button. We didn't know that yet. And the fact that the copper buttons were linked to the copper golem, which was a stupid decision anyway, because Mojang could just put the bloody buttons in. They should just put all of the bloody mobs in the first place. Because they're really lacking. This game's really lacking on mobs. Again, going back to the Hytale thing, Hytale is coming out with like friggin' 7 times more mobs than Minecraft does on release. So Minecraft definitely could do with more mobs. And so yeah, the copper button was also tied to the copper golem for some reason, and that could have brought in a lot of different things, because it could have had a different timing to the stone and the wooden buttons, right? Yeah, sapling randomizer. No, it still works. Sapling randomizers work, but they don't work the way that a copper golem would have worked, because a copper golem is random input output and random timing, right? Which would have been fantastic for a multitude of mini games, parkour courses where you had control rooms with like 5 copper golems in there pressing different buttons, where all the platforms and things were coming in and out and stuff like that. It would have been just so much easier. Like, imagine if you remember Iskal's run from season 6. Imagine all of his logic and all of his redstone wiring for the parkour courses and things like that being circumvented by just a couple of copper golems just pressing buttons. And it would have been way funnier, it would have been way cooler and more dynamic. Copper button was a great option. I'm not seeing the difference between that and a chicken with multiple plates. The difference is that it would be an input and then it would stop, right? A chicken can go stand on a pressure plate and not move for hours. Hours. It could just stand there, do nothing, right? The chicken and multiple pressure plates are not the same thing. And the spacing that which you would need between that is way more than one golem with a couple of buttons. You could actually reliably time the inputs that a copper golem gave you, right? You could have single game tick. You could have the stone button length, the wooden button length, the copper button length of an input. Whereas with a chicken and a pressure plate, you have no control over how long the input lasts, right? That is vitally important for designing a lot of things. And also, putting the copper golem in would have given us the you could have put the copper golem with the pressure plates as well. You could have the copper golem running on a floor full of pressure plates with lots of buttons on the wall, and eventually they could have been able to pull levers as well. You could have had levers and stuff like that too, right? So yeah, no, the copper golem is way more reliable and way more functional than a chicken with a pressure plate. I mean, that's the best way that I can explain it right now. And I would prefer if I stopped ranting at this point. I need to go and make sure that I do some of my other duties. It has been 2 hours. It was fun hanging out, and I like this discussion, and we should do it more often. So hopefully, as time goes on, I'll get more confident with voicing my own opinion about snapshots and things like that, so then we can have more of these live streams. But for now, thanks to Nada for hanging out. Again, you were super chatty, and I thoroughly appreciate that. Humphreys, thanks for dropping in, and never mind. Thank you guys for coming out, all of you, and if you found any of what I said enlightening, how about hitting the like button? And I will see you guys tomorrow for another one. So look forward to that. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.